Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Tonight we are going to be reviewing our actual playthrough of the Mutant Chronicles Siege of the Brotherhood
What?
Brotherhood expansion.
What? I assume you already know what he meant to say. And, today we will be, as he just said, reviewing the Siege of the Citadel Brotherhood expansion. A very, this wasn't the largest expansion, but one of the, I think probably one of the expansions that adds the most things in general.
Agreed. We only managed to play 3 of the missions for this expansion.
And that's more than most people do.
Yeah, exactly. Most people are just doing unboxing and moving on to the next hot topic. We actually played it. We had a lot of fun. The Brotherhood edition is excellent, to say the least. I'm going to pop this open. We also did our best to paint quite a few of the miniatures. Had a lot of fun doing that as well. These are some of my favorite miniatures I've ever painted, having played Mutant Chronicles, Doom Trooper, the original Siege of the Citadel, and Warzone extensively. I really like these sculpts for all the miniatures. We've got the Praetorian Behemoth. We've got the Harbinger.
We also have
Curators that we didn't get around to painting. We primed them up.
the Chalcedonians.
Oh, you're right. The Curators are in those little special cubbies.
I believe these are brass.
Apocalypse.
Yes.
We only fought a couple of those. We fought more than our fair share of the Malignants, which are actually pretty nasty. Their ability to walk through walls really made us have to rush as
Even
we
though
were.
it actually kind of saved me a few times.
Yes, it did.
Due to one of my special secret missions.
And we also have the Curators.
Yes. From the back, I mistook it for just a person with hair.
Yeah, they're really nice sculpts. Didn't finish all of them, but
Also, weren't those kind of hard to dry brush?
the
Or at least with the original color?
yes, I had to go over them several times to get them to look this nice, and I'm still actually going to hit them up with a even lighter highlight.
Yeah, they're very. At least the purple we did at the start was very dark.
Valpurgis, we only bumped into him once, and
mission.
we were surprisingly able to take him out. The little guy really kicked his ass. The character models are very nice. We had a lot of fun painting those. I actually want to break out my old Warzone miniatures just to stack them up next to them and see what the differences are and the ability to play other characters with the character deck that's in one of the other expansions.
Which are really just reskins.
Yeah, it's going to make it a lot more fun to have a lot more playability, and even though there's probably over 50 missions throughout all the expansions and all the original missions, we're going to end up playing this game quite a bit. The Brotherhood, let's talk about them.
Yes. Do we start with the miniatures?
Well, yeah.
Okay, he painted a Maria, I believe her name is.
Yeah, I think her spear tip you can't see it, but it has this kind of little weird effect. But then
They might be able to see. I'm not sure. He obviously it's not completely finished, just the base coats. Crenshaw is almost finished. I might need to do a wash on.
I did a little bit of washing for you because there were a couple of little white spots showing through, and that really.
Yeah, I don't remember if it's still there, but.
Let the camera see. He did a pretty good job on Crenshaw. I like the way he turned out. We used our new Vallejo metallic blue that really shone through on this particular miniature. Looks really nice.
Yeah, I did a few things differently than on the card. But
artwork?
Yeah, the artwork on the card. But I do still think it turned out decently.
Nicodemus, one of my all-time favorite characters from the old days. All the Inquisitors, Nicodemus, Simon, and some of the other ones are, they're all fun characters. The little guy was really surprised at how sinister the Brotherhood actually looks compared to, their pious nature and what you would expect from them, but they are, inquisitors and mortificators, assassins, things like that. So, in addition to their fighting prowess, let's talk about their spellcasting ability.
Oh yeah, first it's kind of weird that only one of them can cast spells naturally, but it kind of makes sense considering how the game works.
Yeah.
And
It's a
even
kind
though
of
there are a few things that I believe can go past that, which is a card he's holding right now.
Right,
I'm not
right.
100% sure, but I'm pretty sure.
We'll
considering
talk
how
about that in
things
just a moment. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that the other characters can't use the art. In every incarnation of the Mutant Chronicles game systems, pretty much every Brotherhood character or minion, or what do you want to call them, they can all use some form of magic or another. Some a little bit more than others. Some, can use everything that you can think of in the way of spells. It's a little disappointing that they can't, but we're not sure that that's entirely accurate. We'll go over that in a minute. Let's just talk about the actual spells.
Yeah.
We tended to use a couple of spells over and over again because they were just so useful. The teleport spell is a no-brainer. If you don't take the teleport spell, even if you only have 3
Unless
cards,
you're 5th level.
right? Unless
And I'm not sure if it is the teleport item actually in this box.
no, it's in the base set.
Oh, okay. There are a few things that we want to say about the base game, but we'll say those later.
Yeah, if you don't take teleport as a spell as one of your first spells, you're missing out because
It's very useful.
it's almost mandatory to accomplish some of the missions, and we did not succeed in all 3 of the missions. We did actually fail one of the missions
And
by
it was
a gnat's
because
wing.
it was because I used a card where I shouldn't have. I used a Doom Trooper card that I thought was really helpful, but turned out to not be that helpful at all.
We missed it by 1 action, literally 1 action at the end of the game. If we would have had 1 more action, we would have actually succeeded with that mission. And then the last mission we played, we just barely got out with our parties intact. Again, it was a nail biter. We were, right there at the very last minute, just barely able to succeed. The game is so challenging in that respect.
We did do better in total. Other spells I think are useful. There are spells that allow you to control the Dark Legion for 1 turn, even though the movement one kind of just makes it so one of their movements gets removed because they'll most likely just move right back.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't take up a
A
turn.
lot of the hypnosis and other takeover spells of the Dark
But I do
Legion-
think that the attack one is the most useful of the 2.
Yeah,
Because it'll
allows you to attack one of their own minions, and that's always helpful. Most of those kinds of spells are probably better off when you're a bit higher level. The initial spells you're going to want to take in our experience is teleport.
lightning and possibly inferno.
Yes.
You didn't
I
take it the first time?
And I forget what that other spell
I
was.
forgot, but it's a spell that allows you to shoot
Basically
the light
shoot-
thing and
Yeah, you shoot a beam of light in all 4 cardinal directions, no pun intended, and that will
funny.
it pretty much acts like a 4-directional Gahana Puker, which, if we're reading it correctly, is really useful when you're surrounded and you're in those tight, narrow corridors. Otherwise, the Dark Legion player is just going to move out of your way, and you might get 1 or 2 bad guys, and But all in all, the spells are
very useful.
hugely useful. Considering no other corporation has anything like that, they get some equipment that everybody else can use. So they're from now on we will always have a Brotherhood pair of Doom Troopers when we play,
And then
unless we're actually using the Cardinal or the Serena or the Regia or something like that, where we want to really use those really overpowered characters, which I think are kind of a double-edged sword.
but I also think that they deserve their own review. Maybe not individually.
No, but the
But
3
in
together.
total.
And the 3 together. Next, I want to go over this one little issue we had. This card. It's
It's not just that card.
It's the HAC 20 Eruptor machine gun.
It's not really an issue, but
We're conflicted in whether or not we think somebody besides Maria can use
well,
this.
no, I think other people can use it, but considering, do we go over general things about the game now?
No, let's finish up with this one thing. Because if somebody besides Maria can use it, then that means you could have 2 spellcasters. And if somebody besides a Brotherhood character can use it, then you have a completely different game with that ability. Allowing let's say, a capital character, Mitch Hunter, slapping this on.
No, he can't because it only has gun. It's no sword.
Or yeah, but if you give it to
Bob or
you give it to Bob Watts, and suddenly he can cast spells in addition to using a machine gun, that's going to change the game. Same thing with, any other corporation. If you could give this to them, it doesn't seem to have the same limitation that
because
some of the
there are
other
things that say Brotherhood only,
Right.
and because the gun symbol there is blue and not gray, like many of the guns that have a gray sword symbol.
Right.
I do think that it can be used by anyone. It does say mystic weapon, but I don't think it says I don't think that implies only mystic characters can use it.
So if any of you game designers or
Other people who know for a fact.
let us know in the comments section if Crenshaw or Nicodemus can actually use this particular weapon.
Not Nicodemus.
You're right.
Crenshaw
If
can.
Crenshaw can use this,
No,
that's.
he can't because he's melee.
I mean, if Nicodemus can use this, exactly, good point.
But I'm pretty sure he can.
That
Just
changes the
considering
game.
how a few other things in the game work. I'm pretty sure that's how it is, but if it doesn't, then that kind of makes me question a few other things.
Yeah, why you would take this instead of just taking the spell book, which gives you 4 cards.
Well, it's only one to sacrifice at the beginning.
Right, to be able to use.
Well, not at the beginning because I can't use it.
To use a gun, but if you're taking 3, offensive spells, you kind of don't need this. You're going to do better with the spells than this. But it would change Nicodemus's overall play ability.
I think the spear is the same, but I don't remember.
No, I think, we'll have to double check on that. So on to the actual regular game without using this expansion or any other expansion. There's a lot we'd like to say about it. The game is missing the old kind of mess with your other players' cards and the Doom Trooper cards. They used to be able to really mess up the strategies of your fellow players, and you can no longer really do that, and I kind of miss that. But I guess they wanted it to be even more cooperative and less adversarial when playing the game. The old, sort of Uno-esque mechanics that were in Doom Trooper and in Siege of the Citadel are kind of missing from my memories of playing. But playing with the little guy, messing up his strategy or him messing up my strategy may not be the best thing since we do live in the same house and have to deal with each other on a regular basis. When your buddies come over and you're having a couple of beers and you stick it to them, maybe that's best for the older crowd and the older players.
I'd be fine with it.
Okay, good sport. What do you want to say?
What I want to say is the reason why I was thinking of bring this up when we were talking about that card and the spear, I believe, also counts, is because of the way combos work, which.
You mean the Punisher combo and?
Well, there's more. There's the Violator
Right,
combo. There's
right.
other combos for the tech guys' weapons.
You definitely want to get those as soon as
like
possible.
the Talon combo and other things.
Suddenly your character has both specializations and can
Well, it's
do
not really both specializations, but it basically is.
where you can
Unless
do
it's tech.
right, where you can do a lot more than just the one thing. You're the one trick pony. I'm the melee guy, so I'll be up in front and I'll fight until I fall down, and then you can shoot him, or hopefully you can shoot him before I fall down. The teleport gadget, the
Very
teleporter.
useful.
Yeah, again, I noticed that.
It works. I think it's.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's better than the teleport spell.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you don't need to use a special action just to get it back.
Right.
Even though the teleport spell it works automatically.
Right.
But the teleport equipment card, you can use as many times as you want, as long as it actually succeeds.
Yeah.
Which, if you fail a bunch, then it's better to just use the.
Just run.
Yeah, but it's also just better to use a card just to get it back.
Right.
With the spellcaster.
Right.
But again, not everyone can do that anyways.
Right.
And back to combos. The reason why I think that those make it so that card right there means anyone, not just I mean, maybe only Brotherhood, but technically anyone can use it, aside from only having one deck of spells and
Right.
things like that, is because they're both blue.
He means the...
I mean, not they're both blue, they're both colored.
Right.
And the dog...
Hello, you don't get to come in yet. Not today.
He's not on a chair. Get that.
Yeah, make sure he can't get in that chair. He means these symbols here, the firearms or the spellcasting symbol, because they're not grayed out. It leads us to believe that you can use both aspects of
Or both types.
specializations.
Because obviously, it's not that only special characters that have both can use them.
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously not how it works. It's not going the special Cardinal and other characters can use them.
Right.
And was that it about basic things about the game that we wanted?
Just that we're really enjoying the game. You know.
Also, Capital, I wouldn't say they're overpowered. However, they do. I noticed that they get the most money out of all of them, and it starts off not that much, but by 12th level, not even by 12th level, eventually it's +3, which I think is kind of a lot.
Yeah, considering how little you get at first level and the lower levels, their advantage with the monetary system, how you buy equipment.
Aside from Brotherhood being able to use spells.
Right.
But again, that might not even be a Brotherhood exclusive thing, just a expansion exclusive thing.
Right. And I would definitely recommend popping your Brotherhood expansion open as soon as possible and using it. Even if you're doing the original missions from the original box set, get your Brotherhood character out and into the action as soon as possible, because they're, so many of the other corporations I'll probably never ever actually use with the Brotherhood as an option, unless I get bored or I just want to try them out. But Cybertronic and Mishima and Imperial, they just can't compare to Capital's advantage, Brotherhood's advantage. We haven't really looked into the
Luna PD and White Star.
Right.
Even though
actually, I read White Star and I'm really thoroughly underwhelmed with them. They had the potential to be something really new and really.
I feel like because it says that they can switch, that to me that almost seems useless.
Yeah, because you can just swap out a different character. They're all going up at the same level. Even the character you're not playing is going up a level.
And because they can only use ranks below, I almost think having them able to use both would actually be a okay way to balance it out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have it 2 if you really think it needs that, but I don't think so.
No.
I think being able to use both is actually balances out the one less rank.
Right.
Unless, of course, there's campaign things where you have to choose 2 characters and only those characters can be used. But then that's a issue being created, or just to have a solution ready at the exact same time.
Right.
That can't be used by anyone else.
Yes. We are going to do reviews on the Luna PD and the other boxes.
And we might make a review of. Well, we'll probably make a review of every box aside from the map, because that's
right. We'll get through them slowly but surely. We want to play as much as possible. We'll probably jump into Luna PD for next month.
Probably because of Moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also because there's not much other stuff, but
there's a lot of
it's
stuff.
the only other character expansion.
Right, but then we get to focus on the Dark Legion and all their nastiness, which we really want to paint some of this stuff up before we show it off and tell you of our exploits. So that's it for us here at the Shadow and Sun Show. I hope you guys are enjoying this game as much as we are, considering how long we've had to wait. Hopefully Chris and Rita will get back to me for my last email, and I'll have some news for you guys about that as well. But all in all, we're loving this game. I'm not going to say we're putting it in our favorite game right now, because that's always going to be either Dungeons and Dragons or Shadows of Brimstone. But, it's definitely a number 2 or number 3, depending on our moods at the time. So, again, hope you guys have a great week. Come back and see us on Thursday. We got our first real Western craft. The Brain in the Jar was kind of just an April's Fool thing.
Not really. It was more of a request.
Yeah, Nathan. Don't mean to play it down. I hope you guys enjoyed everything. Have a great week. We'll see you Thursday. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Again. Oh, my God. I keep forgetting about that.